Hello, my name is Crystal Petry, and you are watching the third season of the Crystal Petry Podcast. On today's podcast, we are going to talk about wellness within ourselves. I really wanted to say that slow to make sure my community got that. We are going to talk about wellness within ourselves. And here to educate us on all things wellness, we have Sean Perrodin. Hi, Sean. How are you?
Hello, Crystal. I'm doing great. Excited to be here. And what an awesome topic you've chosen. I had to get into my Zen space to get ready for this awesome topic today. So,
Oh my God. Well, listen, my community deserves nothing but the best, Sean, and you are the best when it comes to this topic. So I already knew you could handle it.
oh, thank you for the confidence.
I know. He said, thank you for the confidence.
Looking
Okay,
forward.
Sean, where in the world are you?
I am in this beautiful world, but right here in Spring, Texas, Spring Woodlands area. Yeah, been here, nestled here for 20 years and excited and, always moving around, but this is my home space.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's get into this topic of wellness. We see it, I feel like we see it everywhere, but I don't know if people really understand the topic. So, Sean, give us your definition of what does wellness really mean?
To me, my interpretation of wellness is about happiness within, uh, being at peace, be still to be whole. And I think most of the time we're too busy, which makes us fragmented in everybody else's lives and we forget ourselves. So, uh, wellness really is about happiness within yourself, peace, and enjoying yourself by reaching your goals, So it got to be driven to you.
Staying on that emotional vein, how does emotional and spiritual health tie into overall wealth? Can you have all
Mhm.
at the same time?
Yes, of course you can. It's an alignment is important, right? Are we using wellness as a means of alignment? And when we understand how to be in alignment, then all things flow and all things are for good. But when we're not into wellness, then the word illness shows up, right? And so the way to stay out of illness as much as possible is to be in wellness with alignment. So yes, you can have both emotional, physical, and spiritual wellness. They all matter. And just to kind of go there real quick, you know, the Bible talks about the eight beatitudes,
Hmm.
and that is all about wellness. And so for those who may not understand or know that, that's Matthew 5, 3 through 10. And so blessed are the poor in spirit, that's humility. Blessed are they who mourn, that's emotional wellness. Blessed are the meek, that helps you reduce stress and promote peace. Blessed are the hunger for thirst for righteousness, that's being purpose driven. Are we being purpose driven, right? Blessed are the merciful, that releases bitterness and creates emotional freedom. Are we forgiving, right, of our past, our dramas, our history? Uh, Blessed are the pure in heart, that provides inner clarity within ourselves. Do we know who we are? A long time ago when I was in college, I started an organization called Knowledge of Self. Well, all of us need, and so a few of us have knowledge of
Hmm.
self, right? That's self-awareness. Who are you? What's your purpose? Why are you here, right? And then lastly, blessed are the peacemakers, right? That's relational and emotional wellness. So we're in a challenging time of where everyone is very worldly. Um, we put our wellness or our faith into likes and shares, right? And we give ourselves away to others that don't even value us, and so we lose the value of our own self, which causes us to not be so well.
I have never heard the Beatitudes explained that way. That was very good. Very
Thing.
good. Sean, how did you get into this space of teaching and coaching about wellness and alignment?
Man, first you gotta lead by example.
Hmm.
You have to go through your own uh, search in life to find out how to become whole, how to get your wholeness back. I didn't have the best upbringing growing up. It was really no fault to my parents. They did the best they could, and they're still doing well today, and I thank them for that. Um, but what I experienced growing up, I had to forgive them for it, which also helps me to forgive, right? And so uh, I had to also release the emotional dramas I may have experienced, or the letdowns, or the negative conversations that was taught to me or told to me in my upbringing. It's not directly from my parents, right? So let me not say that,
Hmm.
but just in my upbringing, um, and realize that I am somebody that's worthy. I am deserving. Um, I had to learn that only I can make myself happy, right? And so the way that here's a fun fact, or uh, a moment in life. We can appear to be doing great, right?
Right.
And and you can grow up in school and think everything's okay, but great teachers always pay attention to the students.
This is true.
And one day, my teacher paid attention to me when I was in high school, and she saw I was doing well academically, but emotionally on paper, what I was drawing was not sound. And so I was sought for help because I had so much stuff going on inside of me that I was not releasing, right? So I'm just balling up, right? And I was confined for 3 days until I was told to talk. And I didn't want to talk, so I was just in a space of confinement for 3 days until I decided to talk because my mind was suicidal.
Mm.
And so since I released myself and was able to talk, haven't been quiet yet, but I have, but I have been speaking the truth. And I think that we have to, most of us today, want to avoid the truth, but want someone to help us. Most of us want to be accountable, but don't want the accountability attached to us, right? And so we're just avoiding the one thing we're wanting. But it's so important to embrace what you feel because it's real, and also know that it's temporary, right? It's not forever, and that we will get past it. And so, as a result of that, I have gotten past it. I've been doing it all my life. A lot of seeds been sown into me to be better and great. And every day as I get younger, I'm
Oh, I
enjoying.
love that. I'm gonna use that, Sean.
Every day as I get younger, I'm learning to be more at peace, and that makes the wellness within whole and complete.
Well, I would just like to say before I move on to my next question, congratulations on making it through that adversity in high school. That took a lot from you and a lot from the community that surrounded you. And kudos to the teacher for
Yeah.
seeing beyond the A's and the B's and
Hmm.
actually saw you. So kudos to him or her for that. Absolutely. Why do you think, Sean, that wellness is often overlooked in conversations about success and ambition? They never talk about that. Well, I'm not going to say never. It's hardly spoken about. When people speak about success and ambition, they don't speak about wellness.
The only way you can truly be successful and enjoy the fruits that it provides, you got to be good from within, right? Because uh, you can't keep true wealth with worldly ways.
Mm.
You we like to shun away from the conversation of how important spirituality is, and because spirituality is within us, right? And we want to fantasize it into something else that's superficial, but really we all have the secrets within us. And so when you're giving a divine purpose or a mission or something that's nagging and nudging you, right? And you don't react on it, but then you just avoiding and delaying your blessing. But when you do work on it and you go within and you apply it and you visualize it, that's because you're being whole with what you have been given. And I'll use this example. When I was in the culinary world, I used to make fun and say round was a shape, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a belly, so round was a shape. But really that's out of shape and it's unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you look at most successful people, do they look unhealthy? No.
That's a great question.
Right? They have their meditation time. They have their morning daily rituals, right? They have their all things that keep them focused, right? Their purpose driven life. They don't deal with negativity. All those things is important to keep out for you to have the wellness and success that you deserve. And so, um, yeah, it's not talked about much, but at the end of the day, those are the secrets.
What are some daily habits, some small, let's start out small with this. What are
Mhm.
some small daily habits that people can do to help strengthen their mental health and their emotional health?
Mm. Man, I had to get there about several years ago. Protect your space, right?
Yes.
So the first thing I do when I get up in the morning is I don't do nothing
Okay. So do you
because,
just like sit in the bed, sit on the couch?
well, you find your favorite place, right? Your favorite comfortable place, and I just be still. In your be still moment is the time to ask, what is my assignment for today? What am I called to do today beyond my normal daily routines? And sometimes you'll get something that's out of the ordinary or something that's interesting, and that's your divine calling for the day. And if you don't do that, well, then you're out of alignment, and your day might not go as planned. It's just amazing how it works. So first thing, I be still. Then secondly,
Okay.
I meditate on what's being given and just get my mind right and calm, free of distractions. Again, I'm protecting my inner space, right? And then from there, I may do exercise or some type of reading, devotional reading, inspirational reading, or some kind of coaching part that I do. And this all takes about a couple hours.
Really? What time do you wake up in the morning?
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. My day don't really start till 10.
Okay. So you give yourself plenty of time.
Yeah, because most don't,
That's
right?
true.
They
You
jump
wake
up.
up running.
Exactly. For who? For what? And why? So we give
I
our time away.
That is amazing. I don't know if people can start out with an hour, but I think if you can start out with 5 minutes and then work your way up to the hour, 2 hours, that's amazing to do, to just sit still and be with yourself.
Yeah. Well, if you understand most successful people, their day starts at 4 o'clock,
I have read that.
4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, right? Early bird gets the worm, right? They up earlier than most and finish than most,
Hmm.
and they still have the day to themselves. But everyone else just trying to get up and have all day trying to figure it out.
I remember this was an old Army recruiting commercial. The
Mm-hmm.
commercial used to always say, and maybe you've heard this, the commercial used to always say, we do more before you wake up in the morning than you
Mm-hmm.
do all day.
That's
And that,
correct.
I mean, even years later, clearly it has really stuck with me
Mm-hmm.
that they get up early and they're accomplishing and making things happen before most people even wake up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's important. I mean, it's amazing how much you can get done, and then you realize, wow, I still have the data. I still have all this time left to do something. Ooh, wow, what do
Yeah.
I do? You know,
Yes. Sit with yourself, like Sean says.
that's
Sit
right.
and meditate with yourself. I know it's different, Sean, for everyone, but what are some ways that people can recognize that they are out of alignment?
Frustrated, always frustrated.
Hmm.
Um, feel like they're overwhelmed and out of control.
Okay.
Right? Don't have a sense on a grip of life. Right? The younger folks these days say adulting is hard. Really, it's not. Right? It just means you got to grow up and be accountable.
True.
Right? You can't avoid it. You got to go through it. So embrace it. Right? Expect the best of what you can do and give. You know, don't put so much pressure on yourself. We're all still trying to figure it out as we even as we get older. Right?
Hmm.
So we haven't mastered nothing.
Right.
We're all striving for perfection. So imperfection is the true perfection. People just put so much emphasis on the outer appearance and neglect the inner appearance.
And let me just say this, that there is no such thing as perfection. So if you are there is no such thing as perfection here on this planet Earth.
Right?
Maybe another planet, but not this one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stay talking about self love. What does self love really look like? But so, I mean, inner self love, inner wellness, not the outer stuff like you were talking about with the appearances and,
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing a spa day. That's my self love. What does self love really look like and really feel like?
Uh, I'll use this quote I once saw. Uh, true wealth is in the contentment of your heart.
I love
So
that.
so self love means internally I am happy and whole based on where I'm at, and everything I have right now is for me at this moment, and I am okay with that. What more do I need at this time? And so I remind myself sometime also, and to my family, I'm gonna go back to the good book, the Bible. Does the birds not worry about what to eat? Do the lilies in the fields not not run out of sunshine or rain? Right? You ever saw a bird on the side of the road talking about I'm homeless? Help me. Right? So when we think about every day, we always have everything we need. And when we learn to understand that within us, uh, we become complete. So just really being content inside and not trying to put extra on you that's really not necessary.
You spoke earlier in our conversation, Sean, about healing from past disappointments, past trauma within your home life, and even those people within the community. How does healing from past trauma help, whether that's relationships or family? How does healing from past trauma help with personal wellness?
It frees you. All right, it frees you. There's a book out, one of my favorite books on this topic about healing from within, emotional drama and trauma.
Mm-hmm.
It's called "You Can Heal Your Life" by Louise Hay. The mental causes of physical illnesses. That book is dynamic, and it mentions a lot of illnesses that we go through and may encounter, and so we tend to glorify the illness, right? And accept it for what it is. But really, we can overcome that illness by realigning and changing our thoughts of going within, of being self-loved, happy, peace, joy. right? Those things can turn to something wrong. Um, and so that book has really been my go-to. I had to buy 4 books because at one time my kids would take it. And I said, oh, okay, you're going to work on yourself? Hey, go ahead on. Right.
Exactly. I'll buy this other book.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's when it became, that's when you saw the value of it, right? When the kids like, hey, Dad, where's that book? You say that it does this and that. And I would never ask them why and what they're looking for, because that's for them, right?
Right. And
Whatever
they're
they can find.
healing.
Yeah, yeah. And it's been awesome. It's been great. So release again. My dad and I didn't have the best relationship growing up. We did not. Just life, right?
Hmm.
And I'm sure he didn't mean to, but that's how it happened. And today we have the best relationship. And
Congratulations on that. A lot of
yeah.
people don't turn that around like that.
Well, someone has to be the adult. Someone has to forgive. Someone has to love, right? And someone has to be first.
Hmm.
And so most of the time we're stubborn. Well, he ain't never said that to me. Why I gotta do that? That's all you're doing is eating yourself up more inside. That's all you're doing. You're hurting yourself more, right? But the moment you can forgive, replace it with love, the more you can acknowledge what you've been through and forgive them and make it a goal not to apply to yourself and to your family moving
Hmm.
forward, right? Only thing generational is repeated habits. Only thing generational is the same emotions you're carrying from one generation to the other. Everything can stop at the point of you, right?
Yes.
And so in my book, Life Spice Rack, I have a chapter that's called The Family of Change. And I chose to be the family of change.
It has to start with somebody. Like the change has to start with someone. Why not you?
Exactly.
Why not you?
Be bold,
Sean,
right?
how can people make space for the love that you're talking about? How can people make space for the joy and the peace in their life when they have been conditioned to survive, or they were brought up in survival and not in love? They were not brought up in peace. They were not brought up in joy. How do you make space for that?
Sit at the table. Long time ago, or even holidays, right? Where do most people gather during any special occasion?
At the table.
When any business decision or meeting is taking place, where's that taking place?
At the table.
Why?
I don't know. I never thought about it. I guess I don't know. Maybe everyone can see each other and look each other in the eye, and it's a face to face situation, perhaps.
Uh, when most people eat or they go to the table to eat, they tend to put their guards down.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
It's a universal central place where we can all feel we're on the same level because we're communing at the table,
Mm-hmm.
which is also a great time to have great conversations, right? Make the table free from judgment, free from wrong, free from anything that can cause us not to openly and honestly share at the table. So if you know someone is in a position that you just mentioned, right, invite them in and have them have a seat at the table, right? Unplanned agenda, and just have a conversation. In the beginning, they won't share. In the beginning, they won't talk.
Right.
But the more they can see that you're free from, it's a free judgment zone. You're not going to be ridiculed. You're not going to be looked down upon, right? It may not take the first seating, but if you continue to do that, people will open up because they really want to. There's just no space that we don't provide the space for them to do that. And so most of the time, families have so much issues that we avoid. Great time to talk about it, right? When we're all together, but we avoid it. And then as life and years go by, it comes back up. My childhood, my mama didn't love me. She never said she loved me. I never got the hug from my daddy. Like, well, dang, all your life you've been holding on to that? Look, I want to give you a hug.
Yes.
Right? Because he didn't give and you didn't ask.
Mm-hmm.
There's no wrongs. But we should express how we feel, what we need, and know that it's okay. Whatever the
And
answer
it
is.
could be a possibility, Sean, that maybe he just didn't know how to give a hug. Maybe
Correct.
his father and mother never hugged him,
Exactly.
and he doesn't know how to hug you.
Yeah. And so we tend to raise our children up in a way how we're brought because we think it's right. But then we just carry on along this emotional baggage, right? We just stockpiling the emotions, and all it boiled down to was 3 generations ago, that man, or example in a hug situation, never
Mm-hmm.
gave the hug, right? So it's been ongoing 3 generations of toughness, bold, ego, pride, and basically a hug could have solved all that, right? Which makes you well within. Because when you give somebody a hug, what happens? Their shoulders drop, they take a deep breath. They're like, oh man, I
It's
needed
like they
that.
release, they relax.
Exactly. Doesn't
We
cost you
are
nothing.
having our conversation about wellness, Sean. What are some myths or a myth that you would like to let people know when it comes to wellness? What are some myths that you want to bust?
It's not taboo. We want to box it in, but it's very very simple to have and easy to approach.
Okay.
Um, Wellness is not all the external things we do, right? You mentioned earlier about the spa, and
Mm-hmm.
we want to take the picture of us with the spa day,
Yeah.
right? But when you leave, do you really feel good about that, or do you really feel whole in that moment? And you couldn't have because you were so focused on capturing everything to show the world. When really nobody needs to know, right? Because they don't care. It's not them. That space, that time is for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's your therapeutic moment for within. That's your Zen space, right? And so alignment, wellness. The one thing is something special. I gotta. We can have every journal we want. We can have every handout in front of us and all these wonderful things. But if you don't apply it within, it's just pretty stuff around you.
I
But
agree. The application of it is so important. You can think it, you can say it, but if you don't apply it, I just feel like you're wasting your time
yep,
and maybe
yep,
the time of other people that's trying to help you. You
yep.
have to apply.
And I've been there. I've been there. Have every quote, I can put it all on the wall. But if your head not right, if you're not right inside, none of that means nothing. It's not going to work. It's all just cliche. It all starts within. Every seed that grows don't grow from the top. It grows from the bottom out, right? It all starts within and in the unknown space. And so,
What does a healthy relationship look like? Whether that's family, relationships, friendships, anything that end in ship. What does a healthy ship look like?
a captain with direction,
Okay,
right?
explain.
Because uh, a captain cannot set sail out to destination. A ship cannot sail out a destination without a captain, right? So, regardless of whatever ship you're in, it all starts with you. Are you guiding yourself to where you want to be? Are you doing the things you're destined to do? Are you following and being obedient to what you're called to do? And then if not, where you're going and where you're going to wind up on some unknown place, some unknown island. You're going to be trying to figure out how to get back to your original spot to go back to where you understand? Life and years go by. Oh my God, I don't waste all my time, all these life and these, I don't waste my life and all my years, and people die, um, missing the ship, right? Because there was always on someone else's plan and someone else's agenda, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but also along that, being the captain is also the communication, open, honest communication, being transparent about the feelings and thoughts, having good dialogue back and forth, right? That we can help navigate ourselves through the life that we go through, whether emotional, physical, or spiritual. Be the listening ear, right? Listen more, talk less, um, to the person you engage with, makes things whole within, allow people to get things off, right? Safe place, safe space. Um, and how much space do you need? Not much, right?
I
Think.
feel like you're going to give me the same answer for this next question, Sean, but I'm going to ask it anyway, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
How can couples support one another's wellness journeys?
Well, my wife and I, we are marriage facilitators, and we're doing and completing a course, a 9-week course right now that talks about his needs, her needs.
Okay.
And in relationships, most of the time we do things for our spouse because that's how we feel they would want it.
Mm-hmm.
But not understanding that's not his or her needs. And so once we can identify what his or her needs are and do those things that they love and enjoy, the bond becomes stronger. And so we got to sacrifice ourselves for the sake and love of the other, right? We got to give up ourselves for the other. And most of the time we don't want to do that because we're too selfish of our own desires. We forgot why or what marriage is a covenant agreement between two people of giving up themselves for the other.
Mm.
And so when you're able to do that, then the marriage becomes uh, much more enriching, much more loving. You can talk about anything and it doesn't bother the person. My wife and I, next month will be married 30 years.
Wow,
Um,
happy anniversary.
yeah, 30 years in the game. Hasn't been easy. Didn't, have all the great tools growing up. I have apologized to my kid for some of my behaviors as a parent, but also they see that we've been a family of transparency. We've been a family of it's okay. We allow our kids to be who they are, but still guiding them along the way, giving them a lot of encouragement, support, not trying to change their identity for ourselves, which made my wife and I become great parents. And now that they're gone, my wife and I have to rediscover ourselves and become whole one more time for the rest of our life, and we're really being honest, right? How I did something yesterday in our class, and I asked one word. How do you feel? Say that in one word.
Oh,
And people have to think,
yeah,
and
it does cause you to think.
you can't use the same word as written, and so it makes them go within, right, and put something out positive. Because you can ask somebody, hey, how's your day? They rather go off on everything that's wrong. But then ask them, can you share something positive today? They stuck. What do you mean? And so back to couple. Um, Wellness is really truly being at peace with who we are and where we are, um, praying together, right? Supporting each other, encouraging each other, are all those things that can be fulfilling within a marriage and make it well.
What are some red flags that people ignore that signal unwellness?
Uh, Denying what you heard,
Yes, yes.
right? Denying what you saw, or what offended you, for the sake of not trying to, you know, have an argument, but you know deep down inside they really hurt you, right?
Hmm.
Um, Another red flag is avoidance. If you're constantly avoiding, right, then that's some reason why that person is running away from it. Scared of repercussion or scared to say, right? But those are all important times to get to the point of it so we can move on, right? Because all we're doing is we're delaying the issue to let it balled up and grow to be something bigger than what the initial part of it was. So
I,
uh, to, today I've learned to soften my heart and
mhm.
speak. If I feel like I'm going to be angered, then I don't speak. I'll be quiet. And if it bothers me 24 hours later, I'll bring it up. If it doesn't, I let it go. Right. But I let
That's
my
a
wife,
good tangible tip.
yeah, I let my wife know that. Right. That's why I'm quiet, because I don't want to go in the wrong direction. I want to
Hmm.
answer it, but I need time. And so that keeps the avoidance of the red flag. Let them know, hey, I'm in the neutral zone. I'm not going there. I'm not trying to go in the red, right? But
Hmm.
uh, just give me a little time to process this, and so I can say it correctly, communicate
I
correctly.
have a cousin that's a psychologist, and she tells her clients, the married clients, all the time that there are married couples who have been having the same fight over the same thing for 15 years for the exact reasons that you said, Sean, the avoidance. You don't speak up when you feel like you need to or you want to. So you just keep going to the next thing until that same fight come right on back up. So it's absolutely true.
Hmm.
What do you think are some some advice, some tips that you can give someone who wants to start this wellness journey that we've been having this conversation about, but they feel overwhelmed? They feel like they just don't have time.
uh, how many hours in a day,
They say it's 24.
right? All we have is 24, right? So we don't have time. I understand, but we have 24 hours. Let's work with that first. How many hours do you contribute to your job, right, or your place of work, right? That's 8 hours. Okay, great.
Right.
So now we have 16 hours, right? How many hours do you sleep, right? Whatever that is, right? And how many hours do you eat? How many hours do you just break it all down. Are you not worth 5 minutes of 24 hours?
Wow. That's huge.
Are you
That's
not worth
huge.
10 minutes of 24 hours? Uh, can you say a 30-second prayer, right? God wants all of us, but do we give him a piece of us back to him, right? Do we give a piece of ourselves back to ourselves? So we always have time. We just avoiding it, right? Time is finite. That's all we only have that controllable time. And so we need to learn to protect our time, manage our time better where it meets us and it's purposeful for us throughout our day. So
What is the one message, and I'm sure you have several, but if you could just pick one, Sean, what is the one message that you want people to take away about love and healing and wellness in their life?
the sooner you can forgive yourself and forgive others, you will find more love in everything you see.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is real good. It's like the white car syndrome. You know, you buy a white car, then you start seeing white cars everywhere.
Yeah.
When you open yourself up for love, when you open yourself up for wellness and do the work, that's been like a consistent theme that we've been having during this conversation. You do the work, you start seeing it and you start feeling it everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, the greatest gift you can give is what? Love. And how much does it cost?
Yeah.
But where does love come from? Self first. Love yourself first. When you love
Yes.
thyself, right, you can be greater and better to others.
Sean, you have been coaching and mentoring in this space of wellness and alignment. What is your intention in this space?
To help people be the best version of themselves, uh, find their true identity and not let nobody else place their identity on them, right? Good example. I was lead by example. When I was growing up, um, my grandfather always wanted to have a restaurant, third grade education. He thought his sons was going to do it. They didn't do it. Uh, and I always kept that in the back of my head. I went to school to be a pharmacist. I realized I couldn't practice Western medicine, and I have the holistic approach of life. And while I was on college, I got and fell in love with. I was just cooking, right? Just having fun at school, just cooking. People was loving it, and fell in love with it. And so I got into the food business. Made a career out of it. Became a chef, successful, done great. But it all started because my grandfather wanted something that he didn't have, so I picked up the baton.
Yeah.
And looking back, it's like, well, but this was his idea.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, who am I? Right? And now, granted, I've done very well, and it's been great. It's blessed my family, blessed my life, blessed others, right? But who is Sean Perrodin at the end of the day? And so what I realized is that food was just a vehicle for me to do what always was in me and was to help people inspire. I mean, I've been doing it in college, right? I've been mentoring and helping people in college. I've been doing it for free while I'm at the workplace, encouraging people to rise above their position in their job, how to go for more and strive for excellence, and do it in my family, and my kids' upbringing. Go as far as you want to go, and we're going to root you on. And the kids around my kids, I share the same message.
Right.
Um, it's in me, right? It's my calling. It's my purpose. It's my love. I love it when you look back years and people say, "Hey, thank you, man. Look what I'm doing. Look where I'm at." So in my book, I have a chapter called Peppercorn Melange, which means a mixture of things.
Okay.
And I went back and asked about, I think, 12 or 14 students, where are you now since you left culinary school? And what is one thing you've taken away from culinary school that you've applied into your career? And everybody's came back with the response of, you changed my life.
Wow. Now that's a legacy left.
I'm living all the life skills I learned in culinary because of you helped me be good throughout my life. It had nothing to do with the skill sets,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's the life applications, those soft skills, right? And that makes me proud. That makes me whole.
My final question for you, Sean. Who do you think would make a great guest on the podcast? But you have to help me get them on.
Okay. There's so many people I'll be interested in, but there's one person come to mind, and it's my duplicate. It will be my son, Jules Perrodin. He's an aspiring attorney. He's aspiring to be an attorney. He has a care for the client. Means he's for the best interest of the client, right? And so you want to be fair for the client, make sure that true justice is served in a fair way that no is just fair, right? No
Mm-hmm.
political involvements. But he's doing something really cool. It's called Drop Some Jewels. And what he's doing, he's interviewing people about where you are in life and how life's going in different settings. And so he's talking to his young age group. And I've seen a couple of things he's done, and it's pretty amazing to hear the conversation that they're having at a high level. And it's very inspiring to know. And our youth and just people in general need to know that our future is bright, and that he definitely will be something that what he's doing, everyone can really relate to and will want to be a part of at some point, just like your awesome show you have here.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I cannot wait to speak with Jules. And I love the play on the name, Dropping Jules.
Yep, exactly. That's pretty
I
cool.
love
Great.
it. I love it.
Yes.
Sean, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I myself have learned so much from you from being here, and you've dropped a lot of jewels. We're gonna stay on that. You yourself have dropped a lot of jewels on this podcast, and I know that my community is better for it. They are better for it. So thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Happy to serve.
And to my community, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. You can get Sean's podcast on YouTube Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. And remember, you always have time to listen and learn on the go.